Hello and welcome to e-Niro Diaries on the 8th of October. That holiday is now in the distant past, seems a long time ago, especially as the temperature has now gone right down and autumn is very definitely kicking in. Anyway, I'm trying a different way of to see if the sound is any better, because I really appreciate the comments that come back. I don't have any special equipment for recording in the car or doing these kind of things. I guess I really ought to buy myself a microphone, but anyway, there we go. So this is the final bit of our vacation. It's the journey home, and we took a different route back. So we took the motorway that goes away from the Mediterranean, heading north, climbs up to about 1,100 meters, goes over the spectacular Milau Viaduct. So you can imagine with all that climbing, there was a fairly high power consumption in the car, which I'll talk about on the video. And for those who don't want to see all that and just want to find out what the statistics were, you know, the kilometers, the miles, the kilowatt hours and the euros, please just jump to the end. Thank you for watching.
So after a fantastic week in the Languedoc, we're on our way back. We couldn't get charged to 100%. There's no chargers anywhere around near where we're staying, but we got up to 90%. We got a range of 452. We're going back a different way to the way we came. It's still going to be 636 kilometers though. We're going to head up north to Clerment towards a charger we've used before, and on the way we'll be crossing the Milau Viaduct, which they say is the tallest suspension bridge in the world, over the valley there. So we're going up what they call the meridian motorway. So we came down on what they call the Autoroutes entre deux mers, between two seas, but we just fancy a change, going up through the mountains. So I expect to be using quite a lot of power on the motorway. We'll see how we go. It's not quite as hot as it was when we came down here, so shouldn't have the air conditioning going so much. So, and then when this car gets back, it goes in for service for its 30,000 kilometers service on Wednesday. So today, Monday, 21st of September. You see record come up. So, this is the Milau Viaduct. We are in amongst the clouds. We are 800 meters above sea level, and we've been on some of the twistiest, turniest climbs on the motorway. It's really struggling to do more than 80 kilometers an hour. Wow, this is incredible. The bridge looks more spectacular from down there in the valley, but we are hundreds and hundreds of feet above the Milau town, which is below us. So this is the world's highest suspension bridge, designed by a British bloke, apparently. I don't know anything about architecture, but wow. But I've been burning the power. We were 24 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is, I think, like, you know, not much more than two and a bit miles per kilowatt hour. It's very, very expensive, and we've only done 80 kilometers since we left, and I've used 120 of range. So wow, that was a great thing to do. So Mrs. e-Niro, would you like to say something about this charger? It's a charger.
It's a radio charger.
So we have done some incredible motorway driving, absolutely wonderful. Never been on that motorway before. They call the Meridian.
goes up the centre of France. We're just over 1,000 metres high in this little village, about 4 kilometres off the A75. We were actually going to stop at a charger that's another 120 kilometres further on from here, but we burned so much power. We started with a range of 450. We've done 170 kilometres and we're down to 170 kilometres of range, so our effective range was really more like about 350, 360 from 90%. So we went down to 38%. The plan here is just to stop for about 15 minutes, get the range back up to about 300, and there's another charger that we've used before that is a bit faster than this one. This is supposed to be 50 kilowatts, a Revio. Used these before. Yesterday we used one, but it's only charging at 35, and I'm on a low state of charge here. So yesterday the same kind of charger was giving us like 45, so it's not great. And we want to try to get home by about 6 o'clock this evening. We've got a dog to pick up from the kennels. So we've got still got another 400 kilometers to go. So anyway, there she is. Get me some food. So that last place we stopped at, in a little village about 60 kilometers south of here, had two charging spots. So I plugged in, as you saw, a wonderful cartwheel there by Mrs. e-Niro, and it started charging. We were down to 145 kilometers of range, 150, and I just thought we'd just make absolutely sure. So we'd only been there a few minutes, and a guy turned up in a Renault Zoe with his new wife. He's just got married down in Montpellier, and his baby. He puts his card in front, tries to plug in, and it rejected. And he says to me, a little bit of misunderstanding in French, he says to me, "Oh, it won't work with two cars charging at the same time." I said, "It's crazy, there's two spots." And by the way, his was a Zoe 40, so it was only taking AC power, and we were taking DC power. And there were three different connections. There was CHAdeMO, AC, and combo. So we'd had about 10 minutes. We'd put lots of power in, enough to get us up to here anyway, which was our original plan, just to get all the way here. But we burnt so much power going up to it's over 1,000 meters, the motorway elevation. So we were climbing most of the time. So anyway, I said, "Oh, I'll unplug, you plug in, and I'm sure it'll be okay." But I tried to plug back in and it wouldn't accept it. So it's really crazy. Revio again have chargers in the wrong place, as we've seen on this trip so many times. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, which is all part of the electric vehicle ownership experience. But to have two places and not be able to deliver two charges at the same time. Anyway, we are now at a place that, if you'd seen our video from the trip to the Auvergne, you'll recognize this. This is a 60 kilowatt DC charger, and it's giving us power at 48 kilowatts. We hope to get up to 90% here. We're at about 71 now. But just take a look around. We're in the Auvergne. When we were here last time, it was so hot in July. This is just off the A75. It's about a kilometre away from the motorway. I don't know why France just still doesn't have many rapid chargers on motorways. You do smell the corruption there of the oil companies keeping the electric vehicle charging points at bay for as long as they can. Anyway, when we've charged, we will have still another 380 kilometres to do to get home. Hopefully we'll do that in one go, without, well, not in one go, one sitting, but without having to charge again. So yeah, it's been a great trip down to the Languedoc, so I'm looking forward to putting all these videos together. So 264 kilometres done, 367 to go. We added 41 kilowatt hours, got up to 92% charge there. That's a pretty good charger. It's like 9.5 euro cents a minute. So you're talking about €1 every 10 minutes, and we were there for an hour, so it's going to be about €6. And Mrs. e-Niro in the seat.
It's hot. Hot seat.
In the hot seat. Yeah. This is the A75, which we've been on all since 9:20 this morning. It's 2 o'clock, but it's a fantastic motorway that climbs up to 1100 meters, and we've had some fantastic weather, real heavy rainstorm that brought everything to a grinding halt. But anyway, it's all going to start to flatten out now a bit as we go north towards Clermont-Ferrand, and then up to Montluçon, and we then start to head west for home. So it's, when we get to Montluçon, it's about another 230k to home. Yeah. Okay, so we're about 150 kilometers from home. We have enough range, but we needed a stop to stretch legs and, you know, do the bathroom stuff. But this is a new charger. It's on a main route. It's a dual carriageway, east-west, across France. And it's New Motion, which I think is a British outfit, but it's not a rapid charger. What's the point in having a 7.2 kilowatt charger on a main route when, I mean, okay, there's a restaurant behind, but you know, people don't want to hang around for too long. The really annoying thing is it's only giving 5.8 kilowatts. It's a flat rate €3 for however long you spend, which is okay if you're going to have a meal, I suppose. But what's the point? You know, we need rapid chargers on the main routes. Anyway, bit of a rant there, nearly home. Yeah.
And it doesn't tell you that it's going to cost you €3, does it?
It does, yes.
Oh, in very, very, very
it says
faint
there.
print.
So this is New Motion, powered by New Motion. It's not even giving 7.2 kilowatts. I mean, come on.
Disgusting.
I apologise for the abrupt ending of that video, which is now 2.5 weeks ago. When we were on our way home, we were tired. We just wanted to get back. So, you know, my reflections on that trip now are that we knew it would be tough with the Isvisia and Corridor networks being down. I think 80-something% of their rapid chargers on the main routes in France have been out of action since March due to a technical fault, they say, with the casings. Now, I've not heard anything about what they're doing to put that right, but certainly in France at the moment, as far as I can say, I mean, obviously I don't travel all over France, it's a big place, and I suspect that up and around Paris things are a bit easier as regards charging. That's where the priority, I would imagine, is. I mean, that's a concentration there of people and obviously of electric car owners too. But anyway, we knew it would be tough, but we hope it will only get better from now on. It was particularly difficult when we were going from Bordeaux on the Atlantic coast to get down to the Mediterranean coast at Narbone and then make our way into the area where we were going on holiday. But actually, we got around that with that very expensive charge at Ionity. Now, as regards the statistics, so we did in 7 days 1,886 kilometres, which is 1,170 miles for those who find it better in old money, as I call it. We plugged in 12 times during the 7 days away. 10 times were paid and 2 times for free. The 10 paid times we plugged in, we bought 179 kilowatt hours of power at a cost of €83.25. Now, interestingly enough, €43.57 of that was with Ionity. So basically, we spent just over half our money, 52%, on a third of our kilowatt hours. It's about 32%. And what that worked out as is that on Ionity, the cost per kilowatt hour worked out at 76 cents. And all the other charging we did, where we paid other charges, it was 32. So you can see why Ionity is great. They charge fast, but only to be used in an emergency. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more competition to Ionity over here in France. Total are promising to do that, and others should be coming into the market, you would think. I think the real problem is that there is still not enough, as I've said in the video, and I'll just keep repeating it, rapid charging on the main routes in France. The mid-level charging, it's okay. You're going into town, you're doing some sightseeing, you're going for a meal or whatever it is you're doing, you plug in, in 2 or 3 hours you're going to get between 80, 120 kilometres, which is great for sort of keeping you topped up. But even some of those chargers, as you saw on the 3 videos, they were in the wrong place. We had trouble finding them, and when you got to them in the bright sunshine, you really couldn't read the panels to use them very much. Anyway, that's the statistics. So it was €83, and then of course there's obviously, we left home with a full charge, so I guess that was another sort of €6 or €7. In fact, for me it's effectively free, because at this time of the year I'm getting most of my sort of car charging is offset by the solar panels. And of course, we also saw Mrs. e-Niro do a number of cartwheels, so that's the other statistic from the holiday. So anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the comments, which is for me a learning experience, and I hope I've answered the questions I've had to people's satisfaction.